Hello, I'm Langston. I'm back on my channel, Military Election Forecasting, and I want to talk about the absolute delusion of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is a joke, and I'm not saying this from a biased perspective because I know Democrats absolutely despise him, but I think he's just a joke in terms of the fact that you see a lot of people support him, like a lot of people talk about him like he has a realistic chance of winning. It's really shows how out of touch Republicans are with Democrats. Like Democrats would never nominate someone like him. And the fact that Republicans even think that someone like him has a chance of winning in a modern America lets you know how out of touch they really are with the American electorate and why they keep losing, all of these mainstream elections. So with that, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. obviously is, part of the Kennedy family, even though his whole family has um basically came out against him and told people to not support him. People are still trying to use that perspective to try to tie him to John F. Kennedy, like the whole Kennedy family doesn't is really out here supporting him. So again, he's spread a lot of conspiracies, a lot of things that are just really out of touch with the Democratic electorate. We're talking about the Democratic electorate. We're talking about Black voters. We're talking about Latino voters. We're talking about LGBT voters. We're talking about, educated women. And these are all demographic groups that Robert F. Kennedy just is absolutely atrocious for. And, similar to what you saw with Tulsi Gabbard and, numerous others in the past, as well as Kristen Sinema, like once you decide to turn against your base, you're dead to the Democratic Party. Like people need to understand that. Like people don't care if he has a Democrat on his name. Just like Joe Manchin, I mean, obviously Joe Manchin represents a red state, but nationally, like Joe Manchin would never win a Democratic nomination just because of that. So what people need to understand is the American electorate of yesterday is not the American electorate of today. And when people trying to, make talk about him having a realistic chance, I think it's so just it's really sad that Republicans really think that someone like him could win a Democratic nomination. That people even take him seriously as a candidate. Like I don't understand how people are even making videos about him, like why he's even getting press, because all of the press I see from him is Democrats dragging him. But on political YouTube, you see a lot of people making videos about him, like no one would ever elect that man. Like no one would ever put that man anywhere close to the Democratic nomination. And if he did get Democratic nomination, it'd be like a shoo-in for Republicans to win because Democrats would not vote for someone like that. So I just really find it hilarious that people even, talk about him as someone that has a realistic shot. And it's really sad that someone could be that out of touch with the other side of the aisle. Because you see, I've made videos about Donald Trump, even though obviously I might not support Donald Trump. I'm not delusional. Like I can see how he has a chance of winning. I can see why he's favored to win a Republican nomination. But Democrats can't understand why Joe Biden, I mean, Republicans cannot understand why Democrats can win. They can't understand why Kamala Harris can win. They don't understand how John Fetterman or Katie Haas were able to win. Like, they don't understand the opposition. And when you do not understand your opposition, you cannot beat them. And that's something the Republicans really need to focus on to have a realistic chance because they're so out of touch with the opposition side of the aisle. And it's something that's cost them numerous elections. And with people propping up someone like RFK Jr., it's going to cost them numerous in the future. And you see Republicans talk about running Tulsi Gabbard, like Democrats would support someone like her after what she's done. It's a similar thing with Liz Cheney. Like you're not going to see Republicans support Liz Cheney. You're not going to see Democrats support Tulsi Gabbard. So I don't understand how people are this delusional to understand that. And you saw this with in Florida, where the Florida gubernatorial candidate. I don't know why I forgot his name. I'm gonna Google him for a second. Ron DeSantis. 'Cause I forgot his who he ran against. Like I don't know how I forgot his name, but I know he was a flip flop. Like he had flopped between a lot of candidates, a lot of different perspectives, and he ended up running against Ron DeSantis. Just give me a second. Charlie Crist. So Charlie Crist was a Republican governor of Florida. And when he ran for reelection, like when he ran as a Democrat, the Republicans in Florida vote for him? No, because it doesn't matter. Like you're a Democrat now. So what people don't understand is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is seen as like just so out of touch with Democratic, establishment, the Democratic elite with, everything. And for him to be trying to pose as a Democrat is not going to convince, like, he's not fooling anybody. So that's all I wanted to talk about. In this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hate I even have to make a video about someone this insignificant and irrelevant to American politics, but I wanted to just, address these people that keep talking about him. It's really frustrating to me because as someone from Atlanta, from in specific DeKalb County, a very, democratic place, like running someone like that where I'm from is hilarious. And, you know, it's just, I don't understand how he's even being propped up. So again, I wanted to just address that. Thank you guys so much for tuning into my video. Make sure to have a nice day, you guys. Goodbye.